Welcome to your doom.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That's what Colin Robinson would probably say.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of bullying,
Something's got to keep us on track. So.
yeah, actually, you know what? I'm Adam Riley. This is episode.
Oh yeah, hey, welcome to Non-Essentials Podcast.
This is episode 118. We're starting hot.
Starting hot.
Who are you, Jake?
Jake Bussey.
All right.
Yep.
So, speaking of bullying,
Okay.
you know that blind bullying thing where like groups will go online and they just tear a business down.
Yeah,
right?
like waterfall on them. I think
Exactly.
It's
It's like this like snowballing effect where this like onslaught of like negative reviews, people that have never even aren't even on that side of the. There's a spider. Hi. Hello. So it's people
special guest.
Yeah, special guest. Hey, I want something. So anyways, but like people that aren't even on that side of the globe will like leave negative reviews about a restaurant.
Yeah, it's
right?
fun to pile on.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying that's the mentality behind it.
So basically, we're talking about a restaurant here. It's actually an award-winning restaurant.
Okay.
Named Fire, F-Y-R-E, right? Kind of like, is that like Fire Island? In that they do that?
That does sound familiar.
F-Y-R-E.
Yeah.
Huh? Firefest. Damn it. Anyway, so thank you. Fact checker Tony living up to his thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so basically a woman wanted a vegan gnocchi dish, right?
Okay.
And,
you lost me at
Gnocchi?
woman. So, what is that?
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, what is a woman? So, but the chef, I almost said chef, but the chef wasn't able to do it because he was busy catering to like a private party
Sure.
that night. So basically, the only other vegan option was this like $32 vegetable dish, right?
Okay.
Well, she walked into the door, and she decided that she didn't like that, so she shit all over the restaurant with a review. And then that made, in turn, other vegans shit all over the restaurant, right? So it was just like onslaught of negative. Go ahead.
So it's like a group of people that almost seem hangry
Yeah.
about something.
Or maybe low protein or something.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the chief, are you vegan? So the
Proof in the pudding. The vegans flipping us off. A mere mention of vegans not being nice.
Find the vegan, right? So the chef. The chef has decided to retaliate against this after a barrage of negative fake reviews by vegans that began to obviously hurt his business.
Sure.
Now, from the restaurant's Facebook page, he posted the following, and I quote, "Sadly, all vegans are now banned from Fire for mental health reasons. Thank you for your understanding. Kisses, XX."
Okay.
Yeah.
This is like telling your girlfriend to calm down. What happened?
I mean, sort of, but it's almost like maybe if you're telling your girlfriend to calm down because she's going fucking bananas and throwing shit at you,
Yeah.
and you're in a crowded room and everyone else is going like, yeah, she needs to fucking calm down.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess if you want to do that, that's the other context of it. Now, because of that, the groupthink is now like swung in his favor.
Oh,
Right?
so he has meat eaters riding to
His
defense?
yeah, like a pale horse.
Yeah.
Right?
And they have more protein. They
they're
can
gonna-
last longer.
Yeah, they're gonna eat that pale horse, right?
Yeah.
So, but it has swung in his favor, and now like business is actually booming, and all of those like negative reviews are just getting diluted, right, with all
Good.
positive reviews to the point where he's like, yeah, normally we'll have like half a dozen people, make reservations that night. Now we've got 35 people, or 35. So it's like, it's just.
That's nice that it worked out, especially if someone was just being,
Yeah, they were being petty.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say this. I got to read a couple quotes here. He said, I guarantee you 99% of chefs across the world fucking hate vegans. You can never please them. We've always hated vegans. All chefs have. He also said, sadly for vegans, this has now been the best marketing that's ever happened to me. Thank you so much. I love vegans. I love the vegans. I can now go to buy a new farm and look after my animals beautifully.
That's nice. He found like homeostasis with them.
Yeah, I guess. But with that being said, he said, I'm not a vegan restaurant. If they want vegan food, they can go to a vegan restaurant. And I don't know what this really resonated with me because it's kind of like I think of it like going to like Mamma Mia's Pizzeria,
Sure,
and then be like, I can't believe they didn't serve me a burrito. I asked for one.
Right.
If you want a fucking burrito, go to a burrito place.
right.
So
I'd say my main problem with vegans, and it's like I don't have an issue with them really, but I do have an issue that they keep trying to like take over foods that they're not going to take over. Like I'm open-minded. I love trying new foods. If you want to just be your own thing. Stop trying to be chicken.
Oh yeah,
like dude, you're not gonna take over pizza.
Yeah, chicken flavored.
Yeah,
like broccoli.
Well, on top of it, so Lindsay at one time she made pizza, and I'm an idiot. I love pizza, but before I ate it, she's like, oh, this is cauliflower. This is cauliflower crust pizza. And I'm like, why would you even tell me that? I would have eaten that whole pizza without thinking twice about it. But now I'm like examining it. That's my problem with any kind of like fake meat. I feel like I'm overly scrutinizing the meat.
I do appreciate when
we had a beet burger the other day at a wedding. It was great.
You did. I didn't. I took the meat.
I washed it down with a meat burger.
No, but like
the beet was like, I'm with him.
I do appreciate though, instead of like, because they'll take vegan products and then like form it into like, it looks like a steak, right?
Sure.
But have you seen where they're taking meat and form it into like carrots?
No.
Yeah. Maybe you can put up a picture or something like that right here.
It's like, suddenly I'm into salad.
Real health conscious. Yeah. I feel like a rabbit.
Yeah. Oh man, what would happen to a vegan if you flip their carrots with meat? If you started to do what they do to us, where they're like, "Did you like it? Yeah. That's actually not meat."
It'd be like that Seinfeld reference. Remember when the chick was going like, "Oh, this mac and cheese is really good." He's like, "Yeah, put lobster in it." That's a shrinkage episode.
Yeah, because you couldn't have
I was
shellfish.
at the pool.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I did have one. I wanted to move on here. So my son made me.
George Costanza's shriveled penis made you think of your son?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Sure. Yeah.
Was he in the pool?
Yeah.
All
right. So this is so he came up with a would you rather for us. So you ready to play? But he wanted credit for it. So.
Okay. Well, sorry, future Quinn, for saying that.
It'd be fine. All right. So, would you rather go to prison for 1 year, but when you get out, only 1 day has passed? Or you go to prison for 1 day, and when you get out, a year has passed. You have a year sentence in prison.
Okay, but like how much rape is involved?
Probably a lot more in the whole year of prison.
Oh my God.
But you get out at the same age, only a day older. But I'm saying, or you can go to prison for a day.
I think that like getting raped is going to age me in dog years. Like, I'm too pretty for prison. Do you see how supple my butt is?
I don't.
No, are you saying I'm not fuckable?
I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting
You never
experiment.
see soap
Do
right
you want to
down
go
the
on a
crack of
field
my
trip
ass.
and be like,
Yeah, like scared straight?
yeah. Hey, would you? They'd be like, no.
Oh, hell no. Come on. I'm going to commit a murder just to do.
Yeah, so what would you do?
Okay, so honestly, like joking aside, we have said this on the podcast in the past, but like besides the stereotypical worst part about prison sounds fucking cool. Like,
Sure.
Like it's like a hangout with all my buddies, work out, like watch TV.
If we put all that gang stuff aside.
Yeah, like I'm assuming play dominoes, like,
Sure.
or I would try to learn to. Meals provided, like.
So you're going year?
Yeah, I mean, without getting butt fucked, like, sure.
I think I'm going year too. I haven't thought about the butt fuck part, but I look at it like go in there, you read. But the prison's main negative is your life continues without you. That's what they really do. They take you out of life. So if I got to go in for a year and then step out just a day had passed, as opposed to like me just fast forwarding through what I don't want to experience, but then a year has passed.
Well, I mean, I actually, it's funny that Quinn had you do this, because I actually just like in the last like week saw this thing where like. It was like the countdown of like 10 people that have like outlived their life sentence, right? So it's like some 16-year-old tried as an adult, like outlived his 56, 70-year sentence, right?
Sure.
So it comes out, it's like, dude, I mean, could you imagine like coming out today, and then all of a sudden you're like, what is AI? What is Netflix? You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like such a fast world. So I get where you're coming from. In my brain, I'm thinking like more like Groundhog's Day, where dude, I've got an entire year to take off to just like educate myself, to learn things and do all this shit, and then like just a day has passed.
Yeah, you just careful in the shower.
It's almost like Demolition Man, right? Where they just freeze
sure.
you. Right? Is that it? Like
I think we picked the same. So
audience,
what would you do?
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry. You go to a ladies' prison. You would never have a penis up your ass.
Get raped in prison, so 100 days of getting your asshole raped is actually
365.
There's 365.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I'm going to prison for a day. I'm not going for a year. I'm gonna get fucked with. The food sucks. The people are crazy. You're not hanging out with your buddies. You literally are hanging out with people who are schizophrenic child people.
Okay, so we got a naysayer.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this. Listen, I could be, I don't think you realize how far the fat funny guy will get, like in prison. Like,
I was looking at it from the family standpoint of like they don't have to experience a year without my income to help. It's just like, and then my kids aren't a year older when I get out. It's just a day. I'm a little psychologically broken, but but what dad isn't?
I mean, you're kind of you're in your own parental prison anyway, right?
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So
this is your one night a week release.
It really is. Like I don't care if anyone watches.
It's like Jake Huber right now.
Yeah. Can I go into my favorite story?
You may do whatever you want.
All right, this is my favorite story that I
hope
seen
it's the Titan sub
this week. Oh yeah, there was I don't know if you guys have heard this, but recently I found a company that's offering discounts to see the Titanic. They've recently had some bad press.
Yeah, I think something happened, but
it is 99% off. It's still expensive. It's still like $3,000, but I don't know if that's good math. So anyway,
what you have to do is you have to bring your own $30 video game controller.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was laughing about do you think they're going down? And the one dad turned to son did you charge this thing last night? Stick drift. But that's not what I'm talking. My favorite story of the week. There was a football match down in I think it's New Zealand. It was Auckland City against Buckland.
So soccer then.
Yeah, I was trying to be polite to all the Ted Lassos out there. Auckland City and Bucklands Beach, which I like New Zealand. I like how they name things. Okay, so play was suspended when two streakers came on the field.
Hell yeah.
So here's the thing. Not that uncommon to have a streaker. But my favorite part about it is...
You need a podcast streaker.
It is uncommon if one of them's in a motorized wheelchair. So for YouTube listeners, I will please like and subscribe. I'll put up the video of you can see the players just loving it. Everyone in the audience loved this. Should be the way a game starts every time.
Instead of the national anthem.
Yeah, just
say, can you see his penis?
Yeah. But it was an able-bodied guy, and then because it's just so much prep, how much help undressing. I can do it, buddy.
You know what? He's not. That person isn't doing them themselves. I mean, this is almost always a guy streaker. So I'm assuming it was a male.
Yeah.
In the wheelchair.
Yeah. Well, the other guy was too.
Okay, but can we just I like the idea of the motorized just because of the speed of it. But how much funnier would it also be if there was a push wheeler?
That would be cool.
Just one guy.
Yeah. Like that Superman that ran his son the Boston Marathon forever and ever, but just streaking.
Or maybe because let's say the one person in the wheelchair, his legs, are whatever.
I think he was kind of like a probably Stephen Hawking-ish.
Oh, darn it! So his arms don't work? Because I was thinking the wheelbarrow too. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't bad. It was like.
Oh, okay.
Go.
It wasn't like the straw.
It was almost that, but at the same time, it was
awesome.
It was still great just to see.
I love it.
It was like Timmy, just going.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was a tale of two best friends. That's all I saw that day.
So. I have to say, I have been naked with Jake in the past, and this is
a day in prison.
Yeah, I know. felt like a year.
Yeah.
But no, I think that probably, and I know we've talked about this in the past in the podcast.
Yeah.
But we were out camping, and it was one guy's birthday, which ended up turning this drunken cake fling fight. And it's ice cream cake out camping, which works out well always, right? And then
the ants were stoked.
It was super fun. But then all of a sudden we realized oh my God, we're covered in frosted ice cream and we're camping, and so we're a group of us are well, let's get naked in the river, right?
We're in a sticky situation.
Yeah. Hey. So anyway, might as well start an ant farm. So we decided to go into the river to wash off all this sugary bullshit.
Yeah.
And then in my drunken state, Jake, which by the way, listeners, if you don't know what Jake looks like, his arms are too long for his body, and he kind of looks like the Sasquatch.
Like
Bigfoot. When they showed the super blurry photo of Bigfoot when he just kind of looks.
I was like,
right?
Dad?
Yeah, that's Jake. But imagine that, but almost as hairy walking through the water, waiting, and then me, like a little troll monster. I jump onto his back naked, and Jake's like, all right. And this is what he told me later. He goes, he's like, all right, I know Adam likes to wrestle. I know that if I fight back, you're just gonna wrestle even more. And so what did you do?
Spun you to the front.
He started spinning me to the
No,
front of him.
like he jumped on my back. I was
oh
like
my
that. I was like that meme where all the math is flying around your head. It's like, all right, I can have like 45 seconds of wrestling dick off my back, or push the wrong ends of the magnet together. 3 seconds of dick sliding around me. Every time I reached back, I scooped him forward. It worked like a charm. He jumped off me faster than he jumped on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just dick math.
I think it scared the fish,
Yeah, they were like, oh,
except for the rainbow trout.
is it June?
Come on. Oh, boo, whatever. Anyways.
Happy Pride Month.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So,
Now, have you ever been in a gallery? Like,
Yeah, many.
and you looked around, you're like, and you say to yourself, like, man, these paintings look like shit, right?
Chicago Museum of Modern Art.
Describe it.
There's a general sense you shouldn't go into a museum and see something and you're just like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like modern art and all that, and there's all the history behind it, but there's some stuff that just kind of, I think there's even a fun board game or something like that where it's like modern art or kindergarten art, and you get a score based on how you guess. So
Actually, like I didn't have this written down, but I will say I remember hearing this joke. It was like, I think after World War II, they just let anyone into art school now.
they should. And like, listen, I don't want to say a lot of good about Hitler, but he's a better painter than you. than like
Well,
99% of the people I've
Hold
ever
on a
met.
sec. Say what you want about Hitler. He did kill Hitler.
That's true.
Okay, so
No, but it's just like it's like, honestly, people on TikTok Google Hitler's paintings. This is one of those things like
is
you
he
gotta
pretty good?
very good,
Okay.
very good considering you didn't
Hold on
have
a sec.
photos.
So, wait,
you didn't.
you're throwing out our YouTube because they transcribe all this, so you're like sounding very pro.
Yeah, he should have been let into art school. It would have changed history, literally.
Yeah.
I agree with like the why are we keeping kids out? Yeah, we'll take your money.
Yeah, sure.
You want to come and put
Okay, so take two. Have you ever been in a gallery and looked at a painting and said,
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how I got to Hitler from that.
Yeah,
but
man.
okay.
I sat there and thought, man, this painting looks like shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just hope that, like, the artist didn't hear you, right? You don't want to hurt their feelings. Well,
Depends on the painting.
There's a particular German artist that would take that as a compliment.
Oh no, does he actually use feces to paint?
You are following my breadcrumbs. He said.
Sounds like he's following his breadcrumbs.
Now, and I do want to say at least he's using cow shit. He's not using his own, right?
Okay.
Now, and I do want to at least, I'm going to start this off with the quote. He said, when it's wet, the paint is a bit funky, and paint is in quotation marks.
Sure.
When it's completely dry, it doesn't smell anymore.
That's nice, I guess.
Yeah. So he started this unique media to create, using this unique media to create art about 10 years ago when he started noticing that it was very difficult to clean out his barn. After the cow dung from his barn.
Oh, okay.
Right. So and man, there's a lot of beautiful quotes in here. He said, "It has a perfect texture because it's fermented grass," which is
I
not
guess
really
that's true.
Yeah, I guess. So he basically turned his barn into his own like personal like arts and crafts.
I
store.
like what you did there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had that or farts and crafts.
Okay, so how
But I
did
went
he?
arts and crafts.
How did? Does it go into? How did he? Was this something that he was just doing for himself?
Yeah, but, I mean, no, he's a herder, I guess, or had cows or.
That's what I mean. Like he wasn't an artist first.
I think he was already an artist, and then happened to look down at all the free paint that he was like spraying down.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
Would it be called a mural? Sorry. All right.
I'm upset that you thought of that. I came up with arts and crafts, and then you hit me with that. Fuck you. Anyway, so he said, "Well, I fetched the cows' droppings from a canister as soon as they lift their tails."
Dude, I hope he like names his cows famous artists too. Like there's Picasso,
Yeah.
like Monet.
Get away from Pollock, man. That one splatters.
Yeah. He's a real stream of consciousness.
yeah. Trying something new. But he said, I fetched the cows' droppings with a canister as soon as they lift their tails. Around 2 bowel movements will deliver enough of a half a year of creativity.
For what it's worth, I'm actually good with this because I do think there's some suffering involved, and I think a
That
lot
is
of
art?
a lot of good art should involve like painstaking effort.
Yeah,
and,
I can appreciate that.
This is one of those.
I mean, it's what it is you look at like I mean, you're going back to modern art stuff, right? And to touch off of that, anything that is new or unique or
Sure.
product differentiation, I guess would be the best way to say it, right?
This is manure than everything.
Yeah. but like when I look at Picasso stuff, like I'm sorry, Picasso stuff looks like shit to me. But
Yeah.
once I found out that like Picasso stuff, I feel like I could do a Picasso. I feel like I could do a Pollock, right?
Sure.
But once I realized or found out that Picasso was actually like a very good painter,
Yeah.
and then started doing weird shit, I was like, oh, okay. But you have these people that nowadays are like, they start off with the Picasso like now because they can't actually like paint a portrait.
Well,
and I am one of those people. I can't paint a portrait. So
I was say, can I interject with this?
yeah.
'Cause I
Well, this
actually-
is, and I should say this: any new listeners or whatnot, Jake is a fantastic painter.
No.
Actually, look at this, Edward Norton, Fight Club. There's a Fight Club reference. But like, but no, Jake's a fantastic painter, and tattoo artist. Does specializes in portraits. So there, I'm done sucking your dick.
Jesus.
I feel like that
All
was
right.
a year in prison right there.
I do think it's interesting, but I kind of look at it the same way I look at music, to where like if it's a musician where they're a very good musician and they choose to do some very strange stuff to me, I think you do give them a lot more credit and you listen a lot more intently because they're choosing to go a different route.
Yeah.
As opposed to like someone who's unproven, I think you're defaulting to this route because a skill is
It was
much
easy.
harder.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was getting
Yeah.
at, right? But like I do want to say that obviously his artwork is like very it's very monochromatic,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Or I guess sepia tone or whatever.
Well, maybe different times of the year you could have a blue period with blueberries, like Picasso,
Oh man, yuck! I hate it. So anyway, but I have to say that it like all these, it maybe you can like put up pictures or something like
I'll
that
find the
for
manure.
YouTube.
Yeah.
But he's pretty talented. Like it's actually like good stuff.
This guy
right?
is it on? It's on canvases.
Yeah.
Then that he does
Yep.
it.
He literally. I mean, he doesn't like lip point.
Sure.
Like Renee's loving this from
Yeah.
nice Radium Girls like episode callback, but he's not lip pointing into the cow's ass. Like he's like painting it on there. But there's definite talent and like and the canvas doesn't look like Gigi Allen's like stage after like a show.
Sure.
Like it's actually like very good stuff. I do want to say though, he has painted nudes and I'd be like, man, I think I would be a little insulted if you painted my titties like with shit, right?
I do
guess-
think it's interesting that he did weaponize the term that looks like shit.
well,
You can slide in. Thank you.
I didn't have this down here. That's funny, but I didn't have this down here, but or in my notes. But I did come across because I was trying to find more stuff about him, and then I was like googling like artist poop and whatnot, right?
Sure.
And then like the first thing came up was I think it was like in the 1960s. Like I said, I'm going off the cuff here, but there's this guy that like I think in the 1960s or 70s he just unleashed like a bunch of tins, and he called it artist shit.
Okay.
Right, and the tins are sealed, and there's a finite amount of them, like 80 or something like that.
I mean, e-girls are doing this. Like
True.
we covered the girl that did the farts in the jar.
yeah.
This is the same thing. Like
This is like before its time because like I said, I think this is like in the 60s.
Yeah.
But there we go, fact checker. Where you at? So, but like,
So you're
but
telling me
they-
I've been flushing money down the drain?
yeah, they do assume that because I mean the guy's gone, right? But they do assume that it's probably just plaster inside
Sure.
because it's like weighted, but like they can't open it because then obviously all of the it would be worth nothing, right? 1961. Okay, there we go. So there we go. I said
I will say,
60s.
like, in defense of this guy's shit artwork, very hard to forge.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And actually, like I said, like if there you go. Here's a nice stop of Google.
Like, this is obviously like not a Highland cow. This is
It's a Jersey cow is all
someone would-
shitty. So anyway, so the downside of working with manure, he said, is that the dung has a lot of debris, right?
Oh,
and
sure.
and I hate the fact that he like went into detail, but I was like, I guess it does have a lot of sticks, straw, clumps, and even sand and insect particles in it,
I'd still buy one of these.
Yeah, but in this entire little segment, I haven't done a movie recommendation in a while, but like Art School Confidential.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah.
Like listeners, like watch Art School Confidential. If you haven't seen it, there's a ton of famous people in it. I feel like. But it's such a good movie, and it really like sheds light on art school. If you're thinking about going to art school, I know a few people that have gone there, and they've done absolutely fucking nothing with their degree. So it's like you could, like, if you want to blow tens of thousands of dollars.
It's more than that.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So
I do wonder. Do you think he has an art stool? All right, we're moving on. So I have
hold
a
on,
I have
take
a
two. Hey, do you think he's?
I think he does. Actually, I got we're streaming on TikTok here. I have a TikTok. Have you heard of the TikTok murder case
No,
going on with Mehek Bakari?
it's not gonna happen right now, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it was a British TikTok influencer, Mehek Bakari. It's a very strange story. She's being accused of murdering 2 men.
Okay.
Right? And apparently the story...
Wait, is this a high-speed chase?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw like a snippet.
So what I got from this was basically she's a TikTok influencer for whatever that means.
Yeah.
And her mother was having an apparent affair with a 21-year-old...
Yeah, I think the mom was
guy.
like 45, right?
Yeah, which, whatever, do what you want.
Yeah, that's how Stella got her groove back.
Apparently the mom broke it off with the younger guy, and the guy took it a little hard, so he demanded all the money back that he spent on this relationship, or he was threatening to release basically nudes of her mom online. And so they're like, okay, we can do that. And it was only like £2,000 to £3,000,
Okay.
over in the UK, which is just, it's probably just a blackmail idea.
Yeah. Well, it's 100%
Yeah.
like the definition of he was blackmailing her with her nudes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the guy shows up, and I guess the plan was to ambush him somehow, and he eventually gets in his car, and there's a recorded call to the police that's saying they are ramming me with their car, and basically it turned into a high-speed chase where his
Sounds like
car,
Mario Kart.
right? His car ended up going into a bad accident.
Yeah.
The car was cut into 2 pieces, and both the guys inside died. So now there's this
like
huge
a submersible sup.
right?
Whatever.
So I don't know, just like a super interesting, but it was a weird thing where it's like her and her mom jump in the car and just like ran them down. They're trying to prove planned, premeditated murder.
So I didn't know. Like I said, I just saw like just a snippet as I was cruising through.
Look at just pay him $2,000 to $3,000 or whatever.
I mean,
like you were doing something shitty. You want to keep it a secret.
I think the problem with that is that I really don't think to be like, okay, well, I was doing a very dishonest thing by blackmailing it and getting rid of your trust, but I'm going to be that kind of guy to do the solid thing, and you pay me the money, I'm deleting them. You think that motherfucker isn't going to be like, I mean, that's how it always goes. Like that, like, okay, cool. And then in 4 years when his car payments are late, he's like, hey.
Then you got to pay that car payment. It's now a subscription. Here's the thing. It's like the next step is, you know what? You just come clean to your dude. Like to me, it's weird to be like, no, let's commit a double homicide to keep this. Like, just come out and wherever the chips may fall. Honestly, this guy probably knew it was going on anyways. He's like, yeah, you want to fuck 45-year-old wife, whatever. He was following his daughter on TikTok, probably. I don't know. It was a big viper's nest, and I think it's like. You can see in her videos, I'm like, I think she thinks she's getting out of this. But there's a call of a guy being chased down with by them in the car. You're going to jail.
Telling. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I didn't write down this, but let's go right into the next TikTok murder that I saw.
Okay.
But I saw this one.
What's happening? Don't murder us, TikTok.
No, TikTok. And this is a bit of a different one. I think it was in like the Southwest, but basically a girl had lower back pain, which I guess wasn't uncommon. And her and her mom went to a hospital where she had lower back pain. And then on the video, it shows her sneaking into a bathroom and locking the door for 15 minutes. And the nurses were like, something's going on, something's wrong. They're banging on the door. She's not coming out. And then she like walks out very like nonchalant. Janitor goes in and there's like the bit of blood everywhere.
Shit. Oh, never.
No,
I think I know where you're going with this.
Fucking dead baby in the trash.
Oh, man. I'll be honest with you. You scare me because I've always got lower back pain. Like, if I shit a baby out,
maybe you're pregnant.
I'm gonna be very upset.
But what's weird is
spend too much time in prison.
You can look this up. And this girl was like sitting in bed, very much like, oh no, you're gonna, And the nurse came in and was like, yeah, we found a baby in the trash. And there's like video of her going in the room, video coming out, and then there was a follow-up video where she was getting arrested because it's like the nurse. It was weird. She was talking to the mom, and then the officer was like, she's 18. And the nurse was like, oh, yeah, you're an adult. You're going to jail.
Oh.
And then there was a follow-up one where the mom was like, why are you at my house? And they were taking her on arrest. It's a sad story, but it's
Can
like.
I just tell you this? Like, like I'm just trying to like put myself in that scenario, and the best thing I can do, anything that's passed out of my body that I'd be embarrassed by, would be like if I shit my pants.
Sure.
Now, if I shit my pants, I wouldn't like lay the log on the top, right? I would like covered it in.
I think it was at the bottom.
Oh,
because it was like the janitor noticed the trash was too heavy.
Kind of. This is like baby heavy, you know.
What's bizarre to me is that she went to the hospital to where like I don't believe that she didn't know she was pregnant at 9 months.
Yeah.
You always hear these kind of stories, but this was like a very thin girl.
You hear those things. You hear those stories where like girls are like, I thought I was constipated, to push really hard, and a fucking baby came out.
I'm sorry, but that constipated baby was that constipated turd was like visibly kicking the front of your stomach. Takes a certain amount of takes a certain amount of like listen, I have two kids, and it's one of those like it's very and this is the thing, it's sad because
has a footprint against my
like listen, it's sad because she was in a bad situation. We don't know what happened. Honestly, she could have been abused and embarrassed and didn't want to tell anyone, and now it's this awful thing, but it's like it's got to the point now where what she did is going to be charged as murder.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you probably would have to somehow.
I mean, they can prove that it was like breathing at this point.
Yeah, so, I guess.
That's how you kill a podcast.
Yeah. Is everyone having a great time with dead babies?
Well,
I hate that I've got to shoehorn this in with dead babies, but hold on.
Oh, very appropriate.
Placement. Yeah. Dead City Roasters. So this is heavy metal coffee roasted in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. You can find Dead City Roasters on their website at deadcitycoffee.com, Instagram at Dead City Coffee, Facebook at Dead City Coffee. Again, get your Dead City Coffee at deadcitycoffee.com.
And we're not just sponsors, we're clients.
Yeah, I feel like it. And I don't think that they're gonna condone the dead baby talk.
I think we'll be okay. I think we'll.
That'll be the new bag.
I think we will.
Let's see, like 9 months pregnant roast. Is that too far?
That's a dark roast.
Oh man, that's where all the caffeine's gone. That's
yeah, exactly. So, do you got something to go into, or do you want me to go into the thing?
You know what? I gotta go write it. Since she broke the law, I have a fun game for you.
Oh, excellent.
You want to explain our algorithm here for the
Is this the funny laws one?
Yes, I'm gonna do a funny law.
Okay, so for listeners, everyone play along. Basically, you're about to hear
TikTokers play along.
Yeah. You're about to hear 3 laws, 2 of which are completely fabricated. One is a real law in a real place, usually in this country.
I'm actually. This is outside. This is international.
Okay.
So new listeners, this is 2 lies and a truth. All right, number 1. It is illegal to wear high heels when sightseeing in Greece. Number 2. It is illegal to bring a dragon onto the premises of Windsor Castle in England. Okay. Number 3. It is illegal to wear a fake mustache or beard to church in Italy.
I could see all of these because all of these are wacky European countries. But the one that makes sense to me, and I see a 1 over there, and I'm going to agree with my audience here, is I think it's the, high-heeled shoes in
Number
Italy.
1? You want me to read them again?
I was going to say when sightseeing, because I could see it being an issue when you're sightseeing, and then maybe it's cobblestone streets, it's old, it can cause issues falling, stuff like that. Maybe you need sure footing if you're going to be looking at the beautiful, majestic Italy, right? That's my guess.
Beautiful, majestic Italy?
Yeah.
In Greece?
In Greece. I don't know. Yeah. Greece, too. Right. That's also an old place.
Going 2?
Number 2.
Okay, let me read them again. Number 1. It is illegal to wear high heels when sightseeing in Greece. Number 2.
That one, yeah.
It is illegal to bring a dragon onto the premises of Windsor Castle, England. Number 3. It is illegal to wear a fake mustache or beard to church in Italy.
So we got now
you
number 3.
Have gone through all of them.
She's walked the whole paces with high heels. Yeah. I'm going high heels, number 1.
I'll go 2.
2?
All right.
I got a full spread.
So, fuck you.
Was that the reason though? It kind of makes sense.
In Greece, it's illegal to wear high heels when you're touring ancient monuments, like the Parthenon and Acropolis in Athens, or any historical site. The law was created because of the concerns that heels would scratch and damage the stones.
Oh, okay.
High heels were great, but they are not always appropriate.
That makes sense, actually.
I did not think that you were gonna go with the weighted pinpoint I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, because you can see over people. I'm really upset that you.
No,
just so you know, I looked up where king like King George lived, and there was Windsor Castle, and I thought you were like, oh well, of course, that fucking stupid.
I did like that, but I didn't understand how like a dragon could be brought in.
Because it's so stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
It was supposed to work. So there you go. So when you go to Greece, don't wear your high heels.
All right, that's good to know. Can I do my surprise thing that I was gonna do? I brought it.
Oh no, what is it?
So I snuck in early, and I got.
Is it a dragon in
No,
Windsor
no,
Castle?
I got my favorite book at Adam's house. So Adam has this majestic.
Oh yeah,
So what this is?
it's from like 1890.
Whenever I love drinking, this is like it's like
So all the time.
all the time. I love grabbing this book. It's 1885.
1885.
This is called Our Family Physician, and this is better than anything Stephen King has ever written. This is anything that's wrong with you is wrong in this book. You got an earache? Pour some mercury in it. Constipated? Pour some mercury in it.
I love it because if you're ever like curious about like that's why they call it like medical practice.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking practicing.
We are getting better. So I wanted to read a little.
Practice makes perfect.
I want to read a little excerpt from this, and this is the chapter. It's not long. It's on masturbation.
Hell yeah.
Okay, it's 1885's perspective of masturbation.
Did I write it?
Yeah. Yes, you did. All right. So I'm gonna read. I'll read. I'll skip a little bit to get to the fun parts. Okay, but this is masturbation. This is a very degrading and destructive habit, indulged in by young people of both sexes. There is probably no vice which is more injurious to the mind and body and produces more fearful consequences than this. It is generally commenced early in life, before the patient is aware of this evil influence, and it's finally become so fastened upon him that it is with great difficulty that he can break off from the habit. Symptoms.
It sounds like reefer madness right now.
Yeah, big time. The symptoms produced by this vice are numerous.
Crusty bloomers.
When the habit begins early in life, it retards the growth, impairs the mental faculties, and reduces the victim to a lamentable state. The person afflicted seeks solitude, does not wish to enjoy the society or the sociality of his friends. He is troubled with headaches, wakefulness, restlessness at night, pain in various parts of the body. I'm turning the page.
I'm getting pointed at because I don't sleep well at night.
Melancholy, loss of memory. What was I doing?
Oh yeah, beating up.
Weakness in the back.
Oh my god.
And generative organs, variable appetite, cowardice, and my favorite, my inability to look a person in the face.
I'm upset because what they've done is they've done this umbrella thing. Yeah. It's like reading a horoscope. Like I know, we'll hit the thing that hits everyone.
Yeah,
like lower back.
Yeah, like, come on, man. A lack of confidence in his own ability. Okay, when the evil has pursued for several years, there will be a irritable condition of the symptoms. Sudden flushes of heat over the face. Countenance becomes pale and clammy. The eyes have dull, sheepish look. The hair becomes dry and split at the ends. Sometimes the pain is over the region of the heart. Shortness of breath, palpitation of the heart. Symptoms of dyspepsia.
So if you have you have like heart problems, or like he probably beats off too much. Is that you, Tony?
Well, so here it is.
Are you doing it right now?
Yeah. Some of the consequences of masturbation are epilepsy, apoplexy, paralysis, premature old age.
You just Benjamin Button it.
Involuntary discharge of seminal fluid, which generally occurs during sleep, of course. Or after urinating, or even when evacuating the bowels.
Turd hits the G spot, right?
Yeah. Among females, besides other consequences, we have hysteria, menstrual derangement, catalepsy.
These I do believe, and I feel like are very current.
Yeah. All right, this will be the last part. I'm just going to hit treatment. Here's your salvation.
Make them beat off more.
First of all, the habit must be abandoned.
Not going to happen.
This is the first and most important thing to be secured, for unless this is done, every other treatment will be without avail. Everything should be done to strengthen the moral nature of the patient and to raise his self-respect. He should cultivate the society of virtuous and intellectual females. Everything of a lascivious character must be avoided. His mind should be directed to some employment of amusement that will engage his attention without causing fatigue. He should avoid solitude and never left alone for more than absolutely necessary.
Unless they beat off in crowds.
Yeah.
Like a ookie cookie.
Oh, yeah. And above all, he should never be permitted to sleep alone.
And does it say anything about wearing one of those like dog cones?
Oh, yeah.
Like around your dick or around your hand or something?
The treatment of the disease should be undertaken
like
only by a skillful physician. So listen, this is a fantastic book. Maybe,
I mean, I feel like we talked about this maybe 2 or 3 years ago on the podcast, but like the first vibrator ever was created by a doctor that was to treat women's hysteria.
Yeah.
So like you're like, my wife's got the hysteria again, but she loves her doc. He just sat there.
I got 3 appointments this week.
Yeah, he's just beating her off.
I will say, like maybe next week I'll do there's a menstruation chapter, and I believe the beginning of it says us learned men now are completely confident it has nothing to do with the moon. The next
finally
sentence. I think the next sentence is there is no more complex system in the body that a woman has no idea about. It's like
but us 1895 men know all about it.
Yes.
Well,
Yes, of course.
Oh man, dude, it is so silly. Like if in case you ever just like.
Every 100 years, that book should be horrible.
Well, the reason why they always say get a second opinion is because of this. Yeah. Like that shit right there, because they go, I don't know, cancer?
Yeah.
You know, there's like
out.
Yeah, exactly. Or no, what's the silly one? Fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Like probably fibromyalgia. That's the code for I don't fucking know, but
dude, in 100 years, 100 years, there'll be a couple people on a podcast. And they'll be like, vasectomy. Yeah, they just tied it off. Like, we now know that always is terrible for the body.
I'll tell you, if that book makes you laugh, I'll tell you what will really make you laugh.
Look at that.
You like this segue?
Very nice.
The Comedy Cabin here in Janesville, Wisconsin. So get away and laugh at Janesville's own comedy club featuring national touring comedians every week. You can get your tickets at cabinlaughs.com. So
we're down there every week. It's a fantastic place.
And I'm not just saying this. I truly am there every week. It is such a funny time. If you are a Janesville local, if we're a Rock County local, like you absolutely need to go here. It's like I think the tickets are like $10-15 a piece at a time, depending on the act. And it's just I love this place. I truly support it. I truly want it to do well. And again, you can get your tickets at cabinlaughs.com. And speaking from experience, the shows truly do sell out like almost every night. So,
do you know what state is the best state to live in if you're attacked by aliens? This is my next thing.
Wait, is this a joke? Oh, okay.
No, there's a real thing.
I was going to say confusion? State of confusion?
Oh, right, yeah. No, there was I got the list here. Someone had done a study of
you had said that, and I was like, oh my God, am I supposed to know this?
Yeah, so someone had done a study of basically they listed the survivability rates of every state.
Okay.
All right, and just like take a guess, best state off the top of your head.
State that would be the best state to be in if you did not want aliens.
I guess chances that you're going to survive.
Okay, so what my thought process is anytime there's like an alien movie, it's because they are coming from their planet. They have turned into a wasteland because of resources. So they're coming to our planet to take our resources. So I'm going to think of the fucking place with the least amount of resources.
Right.
I'm going to say, and it has to be a U.S. state, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
This is for the U.S.
Okay, I'm going to definitely some landlocked place. I'm going to say like New Mexico.
Okay. So New Mexico is 43.
Out of 50?
Yeah. So,
I'm the worst.
For what it's worth, I went down the same thought process because I was kind of backwards. I figured you want to be somewhere remote, somewhere. But this is more measuring like your ability to grow food, your ability to like law enforcement. So the number one place, believe it or not, apparently is Virginia. And that is based off like...
Why? Tell me why.
That's based off like the number of caves, the percentage of forest covered by it, the body of water.
What I've thought about caves.
One of the big thing is like the military and law enforcement. It's apparently much higher there. I guess that makes sense on the East Coast there. Scientists, engineers, healthcare professionals, stuff like that. I think the idea is like society is fractured and you have all these people standing around to make community with.
Yeah, I was going like full like Book of Eli.
Right.
You're just like,
but
just the wasteland.
Yeah, I will say we're not in a bad spot. Wisconsin, number 10.
Are we?
Yeah, we're number 10 apparently, and that's just based off like, for one thing, I imagine food. We're able to grow food.
Okay.
We got a lot of like.
But
forest.
like think of it like now that I said New Mexico, I realized like man.
I would have said Montana.
What if
Montana's
those aliens
44.
want meth?
That's true.
Like that is like the worst place to be.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah. So it's Wisconsin's number 10.
Like this, the signs are like, oh my god, there's a fucking full pizza on my roof.
Yeah.
This joke is only funny to the 6 people that have watched all of Breaking Bad.
Exactly. So with that knowledge, what do you think the worst state is?
Is it in CONUS or is it outside?
What do you mean?
Continental United. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
Okay, so it's in CONUS.
Yep.
Because I was like Hawaii. I don't know, man. California, I guess.
California's 20, but right next door, Nevada, I guess is number 50, which makes sense as far as like, so you knew it? We had an audience member that knew that's where you don't want to be if aliens attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. California's number 20. It seems to be like a lot of the East Coast fares much better. Louisiana's number 5, which kind of surprised me. But I think it's like the access to food. I imagine shrimp boats do well. Forrest Gump told us a lot. Alabama's 9. Georgia's number 2. And I would imagine climate has to do a lot with this too.
I mean, I'm sorry. Was this written by somebody from the South?
That's the thing. It's like it depends on the kind of alien. I'm like, what alien attacked?
Yeah, they're like, they were like, well, pale aliens.
Yeah.
There's
No, I still think like Montana would be like all right, you guys survive on the East Coast. I'll hang out in Big Sky Country.
I think the problem though is the winters
Big time.
You know, because that obviously your growing season is cut in half.
Sure. I agree.
What about New Jersey? Where's New Jersey laying there?
New Jersey is 12.
Well, I have a funny story about New Jersey. So, Jake, you were a Little League dad.
Yes.
Okay. And you've told me a few situations about funny stories in the past dealing with parents or coaches or umps.
Yeah,
Can you tell me? Like,
Well-
'cause I know that like the stereotypical South Park even did the thing where like,
Bat dad?
Bat dad,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I will
I
say
guess this is my guy.
I will say what always drove me nuts is like parents that get overly intense, especially with their kids are like 8 or 9. I remember my son was playing baseball and there was this one kid.
That's when you're like, I don't even know if they swing left or right-handed yet.
Exactly.
And you're just sitting there shitting all over these kids.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about
But
swinging that way.
but this kid, he just didn't have a natural swing yet. It was just he was young, he's figuring it out, and he's swinging, he's missing, and every time he swung and missed, his mom in the stands would just yell, "Brian, relax!" And I'm like, in the history of relaxing, that's never helped once. And then she's like, "Remember your fundamentals." I'm like, he's fucking learning them. Like give him a minute.
Yeah.
But no, it's like parents. Actually, I almost got in a fight with my with a coach on the other team a couple weeks ago. I almost turned into Bat Dad. So you want to go into that? So
let's hear it.
So what it was is I was sitting on the third base side, and my son was pitching, and he's throwing it, and they look like strikes.
Which is weird because you think he'd take after his father, who is a catcher.
Hey-o. Happy June. Boop. Happy June. Yeah, a lot of Little League teams. Never mind. So what it was you're just saying encouraging stuff. Like he throws a ball, it looks like a strike. So you just said like, "Hey, look good from here." Whatever. Nice pitch. I was on the third base side. Sure. I said, another pitch. It looked like a strike, but I'm like, "Look good from here. No problem, bud." And the third base coach from the other team, for no reason, just turns to me and goes, "How can you tell from this angle?" Just like real aggressive. And I'm like,
I would assume that the catcher is not like violently whipping his hand to catch the ball.
So that's what I said to him. I said,
did you say that?
Yeah, well, I just said like, well, the catcher didn't have to move his glove much, so I'm assuming he's setting up for a strike. And the dude just said, he goes, "It's 12U baseball. Stop being a psycho." And I don't know why it just hit my ears wrong. I'm like, kind of fuck this guy.
And now you want to see a psycho.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was like, I love when the psycho points out the psycho. Until he turns to me.
You said that to him?
Yeah. It's just like, dude, he turns to me and he goes, "What'd you say?" I go, "Game's out there, coach." And the thing was, this is all stupid. This is all stupid.
Because I love that you played like because you were like the I love that you're like, "Hey, do your job."
Yeah.
Like, don't pay attention to me.
Well, it's just like, don't. But here's the thing. I don't want to be this guy. So the moment passed and there was a second and I just said, I go like, "Hey, coach." And he turns back to me very like, angry. And I just said, "You're right." And I just said, "I apologize."
Hey, honestly,
and for what it's worth,
good on you for doing that.
To his credit, he's like, "Me too." And it was one of those like, I don't know, maybe just watch a David Goggins video. But the thing that happened, he went back to the dugout and I see him like recanting the whole story to the other coaches. And I'm kind of like, they look over at me and I'm just like, yeah, me, pointing at myself like, "Hey." Yeah. And Then
This
at the
is
end
not
of the
de-escalating.
then at the end of the game, they go to shake hands. All the kids shake hands and the coaches shake hands. And then the coaches of my son's team get in a fight with the same guy.
yeah,
So
he was a problem.
that made me feel better because I was like, okay, he's got something going on. And I just kind of got a little almost sucked into it. So
You know that he's like doing the like from I Think You Should Leave. I didn't do fucking shit.
oh, big time. Yeah.
I didn't fucking
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. I'm sick of everybody being overly intense at a baseball game for kids. It's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, it's weird, though. Like, tensions get real heated real fast, especially when someone thinks, like, a kid's not being treated fairly. It's like, come on, guys. They're here to make friends and learn how to win and lose.
I appreciate you saying that. This is going to lead into my next topic.
Okay.
Now, I had asked you what New Jersey was because New Jersey is in my topic here.
Okay.
Now, New Jersey Town has come up with a great way to discipline shitty Little League parents.
Okay.
Now, imagine because I'm assuming this is something I didn't know, but the umpires, I guess I assumed that they were paid.
Sometimes.
But it's an all volunteer thing, or usually.
For younger, like usually city organized stuff, a lot of it is volunteer. But
Yeah.
for normally like more intense, like tournament style, they do pay, but it's not a lot. A lot of, even if they're getting paid, a lot of those umpires they love the game. They're there because they really
The love
enjoy
of the game. They
yeah.
want to like instill that love
Yeah.
onto little kids.
Yeah, and they're trying to be fair. You know, they really are.
No, and it seems, I don't know, like a very benevolent thing with their time. Because I don't know, like you go to a lot of games to watch your kid.
Yeah.
Now imagine umping all those games, right?
No.
Now it would be a lot. So a bunch of umpires have been like walking off, like fuck this, like
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for this. Like why am I getting berated by all these asshole dads?
Sure.
Right. Now, this town in New Jersey has come up with a great way to discipline these shitty Little League parents. If a parent or other spectator fights with an umpire, they must suit up and officiate 3 games.
That's pretty fun.
So this is, I love it. So if
You shouldn't be able to officiate your own kids, though. It's just like,
yeah.
They're like, hold on, I got your next 3 games. Hey, fuck you, ump.
yeah.
Put me in.
They're all strikes.
Yeah.
But no, I actually love this. It's
Like
kind of-
ball. He swung. Ball.
No, I think it's great. It's one of those things where thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Good continuity. Oh, speaking of continuity.
there we go. Backwards hat. Yeah, there we go.
My Charlie Brown safety blanket.
So with that being said, like I love the fact that they're like, oh yeah, you think you do better? You get out there and do it, right?
No, I do like that.
And on top of that is because my first thought was like, okay, well, what if these people are gonna be like, fuck you, dude? I'm not gonna do that.
right.
Well, you are literally not allowed on the Little League premises. If you get assigned to do 3, like if you are an asshole,
Yeah.
right, and you talk shit, then the Little League decides that you need to ump these 3 games. You are not allowed on the premises to watch any games until you've done it.
This is a really nice system. I really like this type
I
of discipline.
I kind of like it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I really dig it. I think it's a great way to make people go, it is just a game. You know, like
That's
chill
true.
out, right? And I think it'll also like give, think of it like the people that are the best tippers
Yeah.
were former servers.
Pizza Hut delivery.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, if,
So,
like,
like,
if you were
yeah.
like if you shit all over your food server or your delivery guy or whatever, you were most likely never worked.
I
in
wish
that
I never
industry.
had done it so I cannot tip. Like I hate being like, you only get a good tip. But it's almost like, it's kind of like if someone litters, making them, they're like, okay, you got to clean up a highway.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's one of those.
That's a great
like,
way, that's actually a fantastic way to say it.
Yeah.
But the Little League also said that they would have a certified ump on the premises to ensure that like all the calls were correct as well. You know, so basically, they were, it was almost like a disciplinary thing.
Sure.
Where like, yeah, get the fuck up there, and now you get yelled at. You know,
No, I
like,
think it's a
the
good system.
Yeah, the guy in the background's like, that was really a strike.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not going to be like throwing the game, kind of like what you were thinking. But I do think that this solution is fantastic, and I would love to see them like implement it in different lines of work. You know, like I don't know, like anything, even if it's a police officer, you should have to do like a ride along. Or anything else.
Sure.
I mean, even, I don't know, tattoo artist or something, like you think you do better, then you
leave a
would.
negative review, you have to eat that.
Yeah. So anyway, but I just thought this was, I hope that more areas or townships or whatnot than outside of New Jersey.
Well, because what's normally going to happen is normally like the guy, I would bet the dude that's overly intense, at least in my experience, the guy that's overly intense, yelling, just doesn't care. He's also the guy that's not going to do it. So this is a beautiful way.
He's not allowed to be there.
Yeah, this is just a beautiful way, because what they really don't want is him there anymore. And if they want him there, they're going to make him learn not to be this way. Yeah. So it's smart
this is the
punishment.
This is the contempt of court.
Yeah.
Of court.
Exactly.
Right? You know, it's like you sit there, run your mouth to the judge. It's like, well, you're now in contempt.
Yeah.
And now you can't be here until you serve your whatever, right? I
Sure.
dig it. You know, I appreciate it. So I have to say this, and we're deep enough into this episode that if you're listening to this, you can tolerate us.
Yeah.
Okay. But,
now that all the weirdos are out.
Yeah, exactly. Now that the real weirdos are
Let's
here.
talk about what really happened to that sub.
I'm literally going into this.
Are you?
Yeah. All I want to say is the guy, I've been writing shit about this because I didn't know when we were going to record per se, and I didn't know the outcome.
I just thought everybody would be
And
beat over the head with every opinion
Oh,
about
they were
it.
absolutely beat over the head, and I'm going to walk through my timeline, okay?
Yeah.
So I do want to say this. Like, literally today, I have to say this, full disclosure, today they said, you know, in whatever it is, the 22nd, today they're like, well, they're dead. Okay.
I don't want to ruin anything, but can I interject?
Sure.
I think it's very convenient that they found it exactly when people were going to tune out. Like, oh, the oxygen's out? Oh, they're about to run out of oxygen on Thursday morning. Huh? Then we could hold out hope, and the viewership was going down. Like, we found it. Stay tuned, and we'll slowly get in scans. Yeah. You know, like this is Operation Stay Here. So.
I do want to say this, that because obviously by the time this comes out, this will come out in a few days.
Yeah.
So who even knows?
They'll have found them.
Yeah, they're all like sipping Mai Tais in Thailand, like, oh fuck, right? Yeah. So with that being said, like, I was astounded because obviously the world has been bombarded, or what I thought the world has been bombarded by, like, all the news about this sub. I sent a meme to a friend of mine yesterday.
Yeah,
she had no fucking clue what I was talking about.
What a beautiful bubble she has.
Thank you. I was like, I was almost proud that she was able to avoid like 6 days.
I'm jealous.
Of nonstop like submarine.
I want to learn from her.
I know. Well, I learned a lot about submarines, but I'm not sure if we're gonna go I'm sorry. I'm going right into my notes here. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna know the outcome of the saga before we started recording.
Yeah.
So I thought about having you do like 2 takes here, right?
Okay.
You know, to you know, so then you can fix it in the
I'm
editing.
glad they're okay.
This is basically like Schrodinger's like submarine here, right?
I like that. Yeah.
You like it? Okay. So here's my quote. We have great or sad news that the submarine has or hasn't been found. All crew members are alive or dead.
Yeah.
So feel free to edit that to fit. And full disclosure, like I found out, they're fucking dead. You know, and jokes aside, like I know it sounds mean or macabre, or whatever, but I mean, if you're listening this far into it, like you know what we're about. But this thing is probably imploded days ago. And those billionaires are turned into crap shit days ago.
That's the other thing with the news. Like, I don't doubt that they knew it imploded days ago. They're like, how much air was on it before it imploded? 96 hours. We have 96 hours of news coverage. Before we find the implosion.
I think out of all my favorite memes, obviously there's, because I didn't know this, but you told me, and I thought it was like, this is fake. But like Jake, and obviously all listeners know.
Everyone looked up the video, and they're all like, "What?"
Yeah, it's they literally have a $30 basically a
fucking
PlayStation.
Logitech.
Yeah, Logitech PlayStation controller doing this, which I guess kind of makes sense. Like if you could no scope a noob,
doesn't make sense at all. You ever hear of stick drift?
Yeah, fair enough.
Stick drift is off.
But like when I was
every other sub in history is like.
But I was like looking at the sub itself. I'm like, why is it shaped like that? Because I remember like Bezos,
Cameron's.
Bezos. Like, why is Bezos like a spaceship shaped like a dick? right?
I think that was to get clicks.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really do.
But
They're
then
like, throw a fairing
I'm
on
like,
that.
why is this submarine shaped like a fleshlight?
Yeah.
You know, 'cause it's like, and then I found out that they were like, oh, well, they actually did this to, like, if you look at it, I guess kind of if you squint, it's supposed to replicate like the original, or the Titanic.
That thing looks like it was built in the 60s.
Well, it also like I said, it does look like a fleshlight.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that like true to form, like the because the Titanic obviously had a hole in it as well. So I don't know if like if you look at the submarine, I don't know if like that's where like the iceberg's like dick goes.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like, but there's definitely a hole in that
Yeah.
thing too, right? But like this is why like I know everyone's probably tired of it, but I have to say this at least is that the submersibles, they're largely unregulated because they're usually in uncharted water. I'm sorry, international waters.
Sure.
Right. And I didn't know this, but there's this in the U.S. They have a Passenger Vessel Safety Act.
Yeah.
But did you know this already?
Well, and
The
go into this.
So the Titan isn't covered under this, which is the sub name. It's not covered under it because it doesn't have an American flag and it's in international waters. I was like, this is fucking brilliant. Like if
Okay.
you don't want to have to play by the rules, just don't put an American flag on it and go into international waters, and it's the fucking Wild West. You literally can have whatever you want in there.
I was gonna say I did see something. James Cameron was actually talking about this because
Okay.
James Cameron was talking. He went to the
Mariana Trench.
Mariana Trench,
Which also that billionaire did too. Did you know that?
Well,
which nice. I'm sorry to interrupt, but nice callback. But that same billionaire that is crab shit right now, he literally went to the Mariana Trench, and he also went in Bezos' rocket. Did you know that?
no,
Yeah, I don't. I think it's kind
good
of
for
interesting.
him.
Yeah,
I will say
he's-
good for him.
Well, he did. He died doing what he loved, like being an adventuring, stupid piece of shit. So-
Well, I will say the thing about Cameron's is like Mariana Trench. I didn't know this, but the Mariana Trench is like 3 times deeper than the Titanic.
yeah.
And it was James Cameron was talking about like they designed his submersible for I think it was 3 years just on the computer, just pressure testing before they even built the thing.
Yeah.
And it was a much more involved process. And he was saying the vessels, the people that do this, I think he said it's a mature art. If you look up the interview, it's really good. He's like, this vessel had multiple people writing that it has not been tested. This is the only vessel that's been allowed to carry passengers below this certain depth that hasn't gone through this safety standard.
Well-
and then that billionaire, apparently, what was it? They didn't want to hire certain pilots. And it sounded like the certain pilots were like, hey, we got to go do these safety testing things. And he said he didn't want to hire 50-year-old white dudes because they were.
No, I actually have the quote here. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, the CEO, Stockton Rush, who was also on the craft and died,
Yeah.
but he once said he didn't want to hire any, and these are quotation marks, 50-year-old white guys with military experience to captain his vessels because they weren't inspirational. And I'm sorry, I've got quotes.
Yeah.
He said that anybody can drive a sub with a $30 video game controller. He said, I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology, but a 25-year-old, who's a sub pilot or a platform operator or one of our techs can be inspirational.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with the experienced guy of whatever race, but just experience to be my fucking pilot.
I feel like the problem with that attitude is that attitude works fine when you're working in the field of like software, when you're working in the field of like
it actually is probably better with software because like
that type of there's a bit of a what do you call it, evolution in terms of like attitude in certain scenarios where failure equals death. This is 100% a failure equals death scenario.
I don't need somebody to be like, you know what, I think I've come up with a great design for a parachute.
Exactly.
And then you're like, fuck it, throw it on me.
Yeah.
Like I would probably be like, okay, throw a sandbag out for it.
Yeah. You know what's the worst thing is like I didn't know that. Listen, let's just go into it then. Like when I saw that you're looking at the Titanic on a screen, not a window, not a cool with your own eyes photons.
Okay,
it's a screen.
You told me that, and I do got to fact check you just a little bit. There, and actually, maybe we could throw up a diagram for YouTube viewers, but there is one viewport. Because you told me that, because of how it's designed, the only way they call it the viewport, the only way to actually see out this window, which happens to be 2.5 meters in diameter or 8.2 feet if you speak bald eagle, right? But the
I'd have to check. That thing was not this big. That thing was old ship this big.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe-
going off of what it says here.
Okay.
But it's literally located in the toilet area, and I like that they did a very like Wes Anderson like side shot, to where it's like it had like little people, and there's even one guy sitting on a shitter like looking out the window. So like basically like the guy with diarrhea gets the best view, I think.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
glad it was over quick for him.
No,
that's what
fair
it
enough,
is.
and that's what they assume is, and Jake, you had said this off camera earlier, but you had said the way they assume it happened is just basically crunched like a can, and those people are probably just
6,000 pounds per square inch down there.
Yeah,
It is instant implosion. I think I'd read that like at a breach point in that depth, water comes in at the speed of sound. You know, so it is a bowl of soup in that vessel, and I'm glad it was
chili, probably.
Yeah, it was.
But I just want to say this, so I do think that I would be a great submarine pilot because besides my lack of experience, I do know how to use a video game controller.
That's true.
I work well under pressure.
Do you think they had the y-axis
and
inverted?
I've never been told I go too deep.
Ah!
Come on.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank
All
you. Where are you gonna go with there?
The Texas investigative team into the death of a woman was called off when it was discovered she was made out of silicone.
Oh, is this one of those things where they find a floating body and they're like, "That's a sex doll"?
I was going to make this into a catfish, but I was just the story itself. But a call saying they had found a dead body in Harris County, Texas. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said on Twitter that foul play had been suspected, and then it was 2 hours later. He followed it up with false call on this one. Upon closer inspection, not a body.
Yeah,
and that was the end of it. And they suspected this because basically for lack of smell.
Okay.
When they walked up to it and other normal signs of decomposition, basically it turned into be, I think the term is a fucking chuck.
Okay, so
and there's a picture of it. I'll put it up, and it's got like lingerie on it, and the head is missing. So,
yeah, like all women.
Yeah.
So, but no, I do want to say like any new time listeners, like the term "fucking truck." I've never heard that term before, but I have a buddy of mine who was a manager of a sex store for a very long time, and he told me that term. He was like my run buddy. He used to run with them all, and I was like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, we have these people that come in and they would like put these torsos in like a duffel bag, and they would just go and like fuck these things and just like leave them out in the woods.
Stop making them look like bodies.
Yeah, seriously, you're like, it's like part of me is like, all right, like whatever, like, let it get it out of them so they don't do it for real. But then also part of me is like, you're cultivating, you give them the diet version of, eventually they can want.
I don't know. Those sex dolls are heroes, I think.
Yeah,
dude, they're occupying all the incels. It's.
Yeah. All right.
They're building better ones. Like it's going to be sex robots in the next 20 years. It really is.
Yeah. Just like that there's going to be some female hacker like make it talk back.
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, these are going to be high end. Like it'll get pregnant and it'll give you the option to abort. Like a little toilet flusher will come out of it and be like.
Just make me think of that horror story that you said earlier.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one? The one with the fucking girl that passed the fucking baby out.
Oh, sorry. I was still stuck in the submarine.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, also under pressure, that young girl would be in charge of murder. But I'll tell you what, you can't write those things off on your taxes.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you're tired of all the paperwork that comes with running a small business and headache from hundreds of new tax laws, let Jensen Accounting be your Tylenol.
I don't think we're going to keep that sponsor.
No, I think we're going to lose it after this one. Yeah, no, you cannot write this off on your taxes.
Listen, it's a hard sell. The IRS will contact you. They don't see fucking chucks as deductible. They see them as deductible.
What if you bring it to a business meeting and you let...
I guess you would bring it on the golf course because that's where deals are made.
Fair enough. So, if you're tired of all the paperwork that comes with running a small business and headache from hundreds of new tax laws, let Jensen Accounting be your Tylenol. You can find them on Facebook by searching Jensen Accounting and Consulting. Just a few quick stumbles away.
Finish the commercial.
I am so sorry. Just to stumble away from Sneakers Bar and Grill in Janesville, Wisconsin.
We're going to get a call from her and be like, I got a lot of incels in here. So,
You want to end on a catfish?
Yes, of course I
Okay.
do. All right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is the same thought process here. As
As
catfish, I thought.
I didn't. No, I didn't have one.
Okay.
I had the alien game.
Okay.
Yeah, and
The
then
alien game. That is
would
so.
you rather?
That was frustrating for me.
No, I was surprised.
Yeah.
It depends on how
all
you
this
measure
other
it.
things. Oh, you're happy because you guessed Nevada. All right, so I hope you cut that last part. I know you're not going to, but I really do.
I think I might.
You should. So here's your catfish. This is going to follow the same algorithm. This is one actual real news story and then 2 bullshit ones that I wrote. So number 1, woman rescues cat from tree, ends up needing firefighters to save her. Number 2, teen changes his name to Captain Fantastic faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk, and the Flash combined. Number 3, grandmother uses homemade scarf to tie up would-be drunk burglar, plans to donate it to his cold jail cell.
And the last one is sweet. Like, I hope he turns his life around.
Let me read them again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the first one again?
There is no theme, by the way.
Sure.
In case you're wondering. A lot of times I'll write them with the theme, but I was just having fun this one.
Sure.
Okay, so number 1, woman rescues stuck cat from tree.
Nice. Misguided teens. That's the
ends
theme.
ends up needing firefighter to save her. Number 2, teen changes his name to Captain Fantastic faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk, and the Flash combined.
Okay.
Number 3, grandmother uses homemade scarf to tie up would-be drunk burglar, plans to donate it to his cold jail cell.
Okay. So, I generally believe number 2 is the real one, but I have this instinct in me to go with number 1. And that instinct is predicated on the idea that I don't think you think, I would think you would put 2 number 1s in a row. So number 1. So.
A teenager has changed his birth name by deed to...
Not buying it.
This is November 2008.
This is the real one?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
A teenager has changed his
Okay.
birth name by deed poll to incorporate several comic book characters. George Garrett from England has become...
Oh, good choice, though. George Garrett.
George
Wow.
Garrett
Out with the old.
has become legally Captain Fantastic faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, and the Hulk and the Flash combined. The 19-year-old music student made the change for a bit of a laugh, though it is legally recognized website. Right? He said, I decided on a superheroes theme, and whenever my friends offered up suggestions to me, I added them. He said, my family have begun to expect these sort of things from me. Although my friends thought it would be ridiculous, most of the people do call me captain. It's been a great conversation starter. A spokesman for the legal deed poll service said, we get so many outrageous name changes that these days it barely phases us. But when this one was brought to my attention, I knew there was something special about it. And by the way, like in case you're wondering, over in England, the legal, and I did this is a little backstory. Over in England, there's you can go to, it's called Legal Deed Poll Service, and you can literally legally change your name within 24 hours for 15.99 euros, or
You're gonna have to meet
$17.
me next week.
Yeah, $17.45.
What was the age of this kid? He said he was still
He was
in
a teenager.
still in high school?
Yeah, 19-year-old.
Oh, okay.
You already knew this?
No.
This guy's 100% going to regret this.
Okay.
The first government form he has to fill out,
Yeah, it was just
he's going to
the
be like, oh my
boxes
God,
for
I
each
need to
letter,
go back
like-
to George Garrett or whatever it was. Like,
Fuck it, G. Garrett.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sick of it.
so, I don't know. I'm out of stuff. That's a great
Hey,
way to end it.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in
Yeah.
there,
And-
TikTokers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Don't run people off the road tonight, even if they're fucking your mom.
Yeah.
And honestly, release the nudes. And I think if you're a 45-year-old woman letting a 21-year-old ball you out, lean into it and smile for the camera, and hopefully make a few bucks.
Oh, and like and subscribe, because as soon as we find out what happened to the sub, we'll do updates.
Was there a sub?
I don't know.
Sandwich?
I don't understand. I'm curious if someone went. I should check. Did anyone go to the Wikipedia page of Titanic and just was like +5?
I hate. I hate the fact that by saying that there's a missing sub also implies that there's a missing dom.
Ah.
No.
I like that.
All right.
That's a good way to end it. It's been
Later.
episode 118. I think this has been a great one.
Yeah. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Titties.
It looks like boobs.
Yeah. And boobs equal boobs.
Later, boners. Why are you still watching?
You met me at a very strange time in my life.